Now, let's fast forward a little bit. World champion, titles, all that. You've done what you've done in boxing. Hands down, obviously, Hall of Famer in my mind, like, you know what I mean, and all that. But then you decided to transition a little bit. You did a little bit of bare knuckle with the hand.
Yeah, and people always said it's a bad idea. People said, yo, you're the lightest guy that should be doing this. Yeah. And I'm like, I saw these guys fighting bare knuckle, and I'm like, this is easy though, man.
Sure,
I can outskill these guys, you know. And then when I remember it was 5 2-minute rounds. I remember thinking, how much damage in my hand's gonna take in 5 2-minute rounds? And I'm like, come on, man, whatever. You know, it's a 10-minute fight. It's gonna be a breeze, man. I'm used to fighting 36 minutes or even 10 rounds a half hour. Imagine doing a 5-round fight and getting paid like you're fighting a 12-rounder, you know, because they were offering me, you know, good money for that. At that time in my career, I wouldn't have been able to make that kind of money boxing anymore. And I hadn't made that kind of money boxing in years, you know, so I was like, it's a no-brainer, man. And this guy can't fight, so I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, it's gonna be an easy fight, you know. So I had a built-in storyline, you know, so it was a very sellable fight. So I was like, you know what, this could get really exciting, you know. Like I kind of missed it. I kind of missed because even at the end of my career, I was fighting, but I wasn't in major fights anymore. Like the last couple of years of my career, I was trying to build back to major, but I failed at it. You know, you get older and you fall apart. So I'm like, man, I miss like being the center of attention of a big promotion. Like this could be it right here, man. Like, this could bring it back, you know. Like it's a built-in beef, like press conferences where you gotta be witty and like you know, gotta be sharp-tongued. And I like, you know, test my mindset, see if I can be sharp-tongued, you know.
Back in it,
So they got me, man. I was like, yo, I can't say no to this, man. I gotta do it, you know. And I don't know if people like, are you crazy? This and that. And some people, you know, people that care about me, like, when are you gonna stop fighting? You gotta keep fighting. You can't be fighting forever. And I'm like, man, this is not even risking. Come on, man. And so we did it. we did the fight.
It's funny because I work with a couple of bare knuckle guys. It's different. Like I was there, I was cornering them, you know, and it's way different in my opinion. Like I've cornered Sullivan Barrera for major boxing events. Obviously, I corner a lot of MMA fights, but bare knuckle is a lot different. It's a little bit more eerie, like
it is because it's eerie because the cuts is more blood. I feel like it's safer though. I feel like you're not getting as much brain damage because the guys can't load up heavy shots. You know, so I feel like
when I was in the corner of like
gory though.
Yeah, for sure. That the cuts and the lacerations, like one, if you don't like blood, you shouldn't be even in the corner.
But it's safe. Nobody's gonna wind up in a coma. I feel like you know what I'm saying. Like it's like because you can't have that high impact continuously because the other guy's gonna hurt himself if he keeps high impact punching you know. So I felt like it's safe, but it's cutting. You know, you're not gonna be a model, that's for sure, because you're gonna have a lot of scar tissue and then you're gonna have a lot of cuts.
And like the as far as like finding the distance and just different feeling.
You know,
and all that.
it's funny because growing up, I got into a lot of fights, right? Even before I was boxing, I was always a smaller kid. I had to get into fights. So. And even after I started boxing, honestly, bro, it's like, when I was in nightclubs, there were times I got into fist fights in nightclubs. So I was still in fist fights into my 20s, even early 30s, actually. So actually, it's funny enough, I got into a fist fight 2 years ago on the subway, randomly. Some guy just punched me in my face randomly, bro. Yeah, I mean, it was the worst idea for him in the end, but I mean, it was random.
Do you have a reasoning by it, or was it just?
I'll tell you that one after this. I'll tell you after. Let me go into this first. So I'm not thinking about this, but I can't believe that even happened. So with the bare knuckle fight, it is different, but I still felt like you can control the action. If you're good, then you can still control the action like a boxing match. Even with one hand, I was so much better than that guy that I still made it a boxing match. Even with one hand, it did not turn into a brawl. No. It did not turn into your typical bare knuckle fight.
You're right. Yeah.
So two-handed, I would have absolutely wrecked him, because it's funny, the right hand that I landed, I broke my hand, and I had to stop using my right hand, was because I was finally starting to find a distance. It takes you a round and a half to find your distance, set your distance, even in a regular boxing match. So I was starting to find that range, you know, in that second round. I won the first round just on controlling him, but I felt like in the second round I was starting to find that range. I landed the right hand to the stomach. I felt like I was starting to throw the right hand a little more. I was starting to find that range. So it was going to start to come out harder and more often. And I was controlling him. He couldn't close that gap, because I got my quick feet. 5 2-minute rounds. You don't going to burn out your legs even as an old man, right? And I threw a hard shot because I realized I couldn't miss it. I set a trap once, I set a trap twice, and he didn't bite. And I'm like, he bit perfectly on it. He didn't bite the way he's supposed to react. So I'm like, yo, this guy, rip him. So basically what I did was I shot a jab to the stomach. Usually, if I shoot that jab to your stomach at center ring, you take a step back. You take a step back because you want to limit the impact, right? So you'll kind of ride with the shot. You'll take a step back. You can't do that if you're on the ropes, but you can take a step back at center ring. If you're on the ropes and I shoot that jab to your stomach, I'm going to drive it in good because you have nowhere to. You can't ride with the shot.
People don't know the ropes
are not really ropes. They're covered looking like ropes. They're steel. Yeah. So either way, I felt like at center ring, I threw a couple of jabs to something and he didn't react to it. I was like, this guy sucks. I'm like, yo, he's supposed to be trying to ride with this and he doesn't have the presence of mind to ride with this. Yeah. So I said, you know what, bro? Next one I shoot, I'm going to sell it down and I'm going to come with a hard-ass right hand to his head because usually that trap, I need you on the ropes so you're going to ride back. Because if you ride back and I shoot this and I come up, because you're riding back with the jab, I'm going to miss you with the right hand or I'm not going to land with all of it, you know? Yeah. But if I set that trap on the ropes, you got nowhere to go. I'm going to shoot here. And if I sell it down and your eyes come down, I'm going to shoot you up. Yeah. So it's usually a trap I set when you're on the ropes. Mm-hmm. This guy sucks so bad that I was like, I realized after throwing a couple of jabs to someone, I can set this trap right here in the center ring. Yeah, he sucks. And sure enough, that's what I did. The problem is, you have to sell it with your eyes because if you look up, he's gonna know something's coming to his head. Sure. So you shoot a jab to the chest area, to the stomach area, and you commit your eyes to it. Mm-hmm. So that this way, the shot to the head up top afterwards, right, it follows it. He doesn't see it. He doesn't anticipate it. He doesn't have anything. And that's what I did, except by looking down, I know your head is here. With boxing gloves, as long as I land on something, it's okay. But with bare knuckle, you got to be more accurate. I shot the shot high without looking, and I shot it too high. I don't even know to this day if he stepped in, because he might be dumb enough to have stepped into it too. Yeah. And if he stepped in, he cut the gap and got on his forehead. But I hit him in his forehead, and it broke my hand. Yeah. And so, in a moment where I was starting to find the distance for the right hand.
I think he hit it with the crown.
Yeah, I mean, I hit him here. I remember he had a cut here, so he got up high, but it was on his forehead. So, either way, now I got a broken hand. Right at the moment where I'm starting to find that distance where I would have probably started beating the life out of this guy, And I said to honestly, I had fought one-handed fights before in boxing and controlled the action with the jab. So, at this point in my life, it wasn't even like a panic because I felt like I was so much better than him. Yeah. I didn't even tell my corner. I went back to second and between. If you go back, they're going back and forth, so you can't tell. But if you would see my whole corner between 2 and 3 and 3 and 4, I didn't even tell my corner. I felt like I was in so much control. Mm-hmm. I didn't even tell my corner my hand's broken. Because I know my hand's broken so many times that I know the kind of pain when my hand's broken and the kind of pain when my hand's just hurting and it's not broken. I can tell the two different kinds of pain. Sure. I've broken my hand that many times that I can tell the difference. So. I remember between 4 and 5, my trainer's like, all right, let's finish strong. This now, we all thought we were winning. So let's finish strong. Let's make a statement. Yeah. And that's when I told him, between 4 and 5, I'm like, my right hand's broken, bro. Yeah. And he's like, and my boy's right here. He's like, I'm like, yeah, my right hand's broke. I broke that shit around too. and he's like,
lead hooks, maybe?
Yeah, they were like, all right, whatever. We thought we were winning anyway, so we were like, whatever. And, it's funny because by round 5, my left hand was hurting a lot because I used only my left hand. Yeah. So, when I said, 5 2-minute rounds, how much can my hands hurt? My hands were killing me. So, if round 5, I don't have a really active round. So, I guess it's close, whatever. But
you're so accurate, too.
Mm-hmm. No, I still outlanded him. Even around 5, I outlanded him. I outlanded him, I think, in every round.
What I'm saying, though, is that, remember, you have nothing on your hands. And you're so accurate, so it's repeated.
No, I was banging them off. I don't think I missed a jab all night. I don't think I missed a jab all night. And they would rush in. I would just check hook them. Mm-hmm. I just made it tactical because I can no longer beat the life out of you if I got one hand.
Sure.
And I also, you have to understand, people like exchanges. The uneducated eye only understands exchanges. The educated eye understands tactics.
Sure.
And I could drive to you with 2 hands, but with 1 hand, I cannot get into an exchange because it's simple logic. 1 hand will always lose to 2 hands when you get into exchange. Mm-hmm. A one-handed exchange versus 2-handed exchange, I'm going to lose every exchange. So now I've got to fight a fight where I'm picking you off, and I've got to fight a fight where we're not engaging anymore. Where I'm picking you off and taking the pocket, picking you, and I can do that because I got so much better legs than him. Yep. So that's basically the approach I took after I broke my hand. I didn't think it was even that far-fetched. I thought it was still winning.
Do you think it was? You're almost too skillful.
No, and they told me that. People told me before the fight, I'm warning you. They said, I'm warning you. You got to fight. He goes, you got to dumb your style down.
Sure.
Because you're gonna have to dumb. And I'm like, I'm gonna stop him anyway. I still believe with 2 hands I would have stopped him. But I'm like, you gotta dumb your style. And it's funny because when I broke my hand and I had to now IQ my style up because I got 1 hand.
Yeah.
I didn't think about everybody would say dumb your style down, because I didn't expect to have to dumb anything down. I just expected to beat the life out of them. So now, when I've got to one hand, you either gonna quit or you're gonna make it very tactical.
Yeah.
So I had to not only not dumb my style down, I had to IQ my style up.
Mm-hmm.
And when you got 3 mentally retarded person on the side judging the fight, you got a problem when you IQ your style up. You know?
That's in every. I think it's almost in every combat sport, man. The judging is
No, it is.
terrible.